All right, folks. Howdy, welcome back to Patriot News. Another edition of Patriot News. I appreciate you tuning in. Today we're going to talk about the Akeos. Who are they? It's already out of the news cycle about a week or two. I'm a little bit late, but I've been busy. Anyhow, it's the couple that went down to Cancun. You know what I'm talking about. I'll show you the video here in a second. They flew from Michigan to Cancun, and they had a vacation club with the Palace Resorts. The resorts are in Cancun, but the main office, the LLC, is in Coral Gables, Florida. Anyhow, they had a vacation club with them a long time, since I think I read 2016, 2017, something like that. For a long time. They got in a dispute with them, so the Akeos accumulated so many points, and the resort didn't like it that they got these points, and like they didn't get the points legitimately, I guess you could say. Right? And so the complaint is that the Akeos were letting people use their vacation club when they weren't there. I assume making some kind of profit off it, and probably more than likely the sales team there probably turned a blind eye to it. Who knows? All right. But the main thing that happened was, over a year, 13 something different transactions accumulated to about $100,000. They got a charge back from American Express. Is that they got the money back, and the hotel lost, and the resort lost out on those funds. It's a lot of money. There's profit margins raised within all inclusive. All right. And so the resort was not happy about it. And Banfield and these other news people say it's a civil dispute. Well, if it was really looked at, it could be considered fraud. I'm not saying they committed fraud, but if it was fraud, then yeah, people go to jail for that stuff, just like they do here in the United States, right? And supposedly the lady was telling people on Facebook how to do this process, all right? Like I said, you know, these folks ain't Ward and June Cleaver, all right? They know what they're doing. They keep saying elderly couple in the news, all right? She's like 50, 80, 60 something. Hell, I'm almost that old, all right? No way in hell I'm elderly. I'm about to be 55. But, so, they arrived in Cancun. Okay, so let me back up. Hold on a second. There was an Interpol warrant put out. Like the whole world looking for these two. How did they leave? How did they get on a flight with the Interpol warrant? Like, is it not enforceable in the United States or something like that? I'm not quite sure how that works. I really need to look into it. If anybody knows, I would like to find out. How did were they able to leave the United States? Like, how come they weren't detained there and then extradited back to Mexico to, you know, deal with the warrant? Or did they tell them, hey, you got this problem? And they went ahead and went. Anyway, they went to Cancun either A, thinking everything's going to be hunky-dory and they're going to go to another vacation club, or Airbnb. Where were they going? I would like to know that. Were they planning on going back to Palace Resorts, and were they going to go into their office and work it out? I doubt it. Probably going to be a hostile environment. You just got 100 grand back from them, you know, on your credit card. Probably not going to be a good deal for you. Or did they know this is going to be stirring the pot in a big public event? Huh? I don't think they knew. If they did go that route, try to play it out in the public opinion and public eye, I don't think they knew they were going to go to jail for it, down to that prison. It's a bad place. So, point being, they arrived and 10 agents showed up. Looked like maybe 5 to 10 Mexican immigration officials, and they detained them, and then they took them down to the prison, and then they got their daughter involved, and they're complaining to the United States, and they sent a representative down to get them. And so I have a couple of questions about that. We're going to go to the videotape. Watch this video here with me. Banfield.
Breaking news out of Mexico. Paul and Christy are out of Mexico. This has finally happened. This Michigan couple held for 32 days at a maximum security prison in Cancun, a resort.
You You hear how she said it? Cancun. It's ridiculous the way she said it. And like I said, this ain't Ward and June Cleaver, okay? And the way she paints it, like they're just walking through like, oh my God, we didn't know what happened. These people knew about the whole vacation club. They're big time into it. And the thing is, they may have brought millions of dollars into that resort. You know, I don't know how many people they brought in and got signed up. You know, like I said, if I was the government, and I wouldn't have put them in prison like that, like the Cereso. Like I said, I would have had them in house arrest at a little house or something like that. Let's go back to the video here.
Down. All of it over a timeshare dispute. They're in the air. They're flying home as we speak. If you've been following the coverage, you know that they flew to Cancun on vacation last month and were promptly arrested at the airport. Their alleged crime, having been mired in what looks like a civil dispute with a high-end hotel chain called the Palace Resorts. Let me repeat that. A timeshare contract dispute landed this American couple in a
okay, like I said, it's a vacation club, timeshare, whatever. They knew what they were getting into. The $100,000 that they got back from Amex was over a period of a year. She's been down there so many times. I mean, and she said on her Facebook she hates the cold in Michigan, goes down to Cancun. These are seasoned travelers. They're at the top of the food chain on vacation club, timeshare, whatever it is. They know exactly what they're doing, all right?
maximum security prison in Mexico.
Okay, hold on a second. Maximum security. 3 guys a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month or two ago, escaped. Ran right by our house down there. And the prison's right next to a military base. Not that has anything to do with people being able to escape, but maximum security.
For a month. It took a freshman U.S. congressman from Michigan and a top hostage negotiator from the Trump administration to spring the Akeos from that hellhole. And I do mean hellhole. The toilets didn't flush. The food was inedible, they said. Cells were overcrowded, and fellow inmates were rapists and murderers. The Akeos lost about 30 pounds each, according to friends who saw pictures of them yesterday with the congressman. Representative Tom Barrett flew to Cancun yesterday and met with them in that crumbling prison, he said. But he also met with Mexican officials. And back here at home...
Okay, I want to talk about something real quick. 2 things I want to get out of this. You see this t-shirt she has on, the shirt and the pants. Now, Banfield is going to say that that was their prison uniform. Okay? I do not... There are some prisons that require uniforms. Okay? That they have uniforms. In Cancun, as far as I know, there's no such thing as that. You know how expensive it is to buy the uniforms, clean them, all that stuff. Everything I've seen is the inmates are wearing their regular clothes and they wash their clothes or whatever. So now the Akeos or Barrett, none of them say it's a prison uniform. But let's talk about that. You know, it's kind of a coy little thing here. Watch this.
Adam Bowler, that hostage negotiator, was also working the phones. And early this evening, after a long and drawn-out court hearing, that congressman escorted Paul and Christy Akeo out of the Mexican custody they've been in, and we have the exclusive video for you. Let's play it.
And here they come. Now, I don't know where this is. Doesn't look familiar. I'm thinking it's got all these prohibited items. I think this is it. Like at the Cancun airport, maybe at the FBO at a little immigration office. But they're definitely not coming out of the prison. I've looked all over at the prison. I don't see a door like that or this. But let's keep going. Okay, I want y'all to look at something. Hold on. Check this out. This is their supposed prison uniform. All right, she's about to say that. got the shirt, got the pants. I bought these pants one time at a store called Suburbia. Look at that. Look at this bag right here. Gonna run psyops on me. I'm gonna run psyops back on you. Check it out. Look at that. Okay, hold on, guys. What's the significance in this? They didn't want them to walk out with the Cancun shirt on like this, right? Touristy, okay? They want to make it look like they had to wear this uniforms. And check it out. Come over here. Hello. Why didn't they go on the plane? They wear these clothes all the way back. Why didn't they go to a gift, this is an old school one. Why didn't they go to a gift store? There's plenty along the way. They could have got an Ekbalom shirt, nice Mayan warrior. They could have got an Ismail Harris shirt. Let me tell you, somebody in their camp, in Barrett's camp, or the negotiator, more than likely the consulate would think, hey, we got to make it look like they're in a prison uniform. And like I said, in some prisons in Mexico, this is the case, but not in Cancun. If it is, I'll be very shocked. I haven't seen it before. Somebody went to Suburbia and bought this stuff and told them to put it on, okay? To make good optics, basically. And they wear this uniform in the private jet. We'll show you here in a second. All the way back to Michigan, do a press conference there. Now, if it was me and I had to wear that, which is not that bad actually, but if I was stuck in prison and I had to wear their stuff, as soon as I got on the private jet, I'm changing, or I'm stopping at a gift shop along the way, or Mercado 28 way, and I'm gonna get some touristy clothes. I'm gonna get some kind of other shirt. Hell, I'd stop at Suburbia along the way, get a nice polo type shirt. But they wear this all the way home, and they get their luggage. Banfield's about to say she's worried about their luggage. They get their luggage, folks. All right, let me show you what happened. So, probably someone from the consulate, somebody that watches novellas, like in the novellas, that's the Mexican soap operas, and then they go to prison, they're wearing these uniforms, Let me show you, let me speculate and show you what happened here. They went in there and they said, look, we're getting you folks out, but we need you to wear this, okay? Now what is it? This is the shirt. We need you to put this on and make it look like a prison uniform. Okay, we got one for you and your husband here. Went down to Suburbia. All right. So when they messed up was somebody forgot to take that bag from her. That's over here, the handler over here. So I just think it's funny. I really actually enjoyed that they did that.
Where's Wyatt? There he is. Wyatt! Yeah, I don't know who Ryan is, but I want to play this again. So, they also, when they sent us these pictures, they sent us some other ones too, from inside the court process that sprung them earlier this evening. So let's take those still shots, because I want to describe something here. You can see Paul and Christy Akeos sitting at the table. They're wearing the white prison t-shirts.
You hear
they're
that?
signing some papers. So Paul is standing next to the wall in the white t-shirt. Christy is sitting in front of him, okay?
She said that's their prison t-shirts.
In the green t-shirt, that is the congressman. That's Representative Tom Barrett. And it was not but a hot minute once those papers were signed that the Akeos and the congressman were racing off to the airport in Cancun, where, like you saw at the top of the show, that jet was waiting on the tarmac. And I want to play that video up full for you as well. Take a look.
So she wants to make it sound like they barely made it out of the country. You know, they gotta, well, if everything's fine and cleared, or maybe they did have that as the term that they've got to leave. You know, I'm not sure. They rushed there. Look, they didn't have time to change the uniform. You mean tell me they got on a private jet? No one can have some clothes for them to change into? Come on, look how clean this thing is too. Now, and she said, Akeos says that before Barrett arrived, that they put her in a nice room, a better room with air conditioning. She knew something was happening and got her cleaned up or something like that. You know, I don't know. But if I was in the prison uniform, the last thing I'm going to do is wearing it when I get home. You know, it's all optics here. And here's the big question that I've got is who paid for this private jet? I'm sure it's 50, 60 grand. You know, I paid for it. The taxpayers, God, dog it. I won't. How come they never come and pick me up? Huh? How come they didn't pick those girls up that they said they've been drugged? Or, you know, if they had been in like North Korea for 5 years or something, send the private jet. These folks burned the resort of 100-something grand. And, you know, I don't know what all happened. I'm not going to speculate on how this got resolved. But they try to tarnish Cancun on this. And these folks know what they're doing. Now here's the question at hand. Where are they going to go now? They can't go back to Cancun. Okay? I don't think they can go back to Cancun. I wouldn't if I was them. They may end up in Tulum or Playa del Carmen or Riviera Maya. Something like that. I'm not sure. I know the lady loves Cancun. They may have to find somewhere else to go. There is nowhere else they can go the cost is affordable as Cancun and have the beaches, the water, the pyramids, and the whole thing. There's nowhere else that they can go where they can and go and within that time frame too on a plane. Okay, let me tell you something. These folks will resurface somewhere, Playa del Carmen, Tulum. Maybe even try to go back to Cancun. I don't know. I don't think my recommendation is for them not to go back. You know, they try to tarnish the name of the Palace Resorts in Cancun, and they're like I said, they're not innocent people here. They're not Ward and June Cleaver by any means. And we paid for this jet, I imagine. I'm trying to find out. It's been difficult. All the video,
so
and
let's play that again because I want you to see as they.
I even looked up local news channels, and I can't get the tail number. It's like this number on the tail, where you can run it through the system and see who owns the jet or whatever. All of them are strategically where I can't get that number.
You can see they're wearing the prison clothing that they've been forced to wear in that prison.
Forced to wear.
Slides. Don't know if they even got their suitcases when they were arrested. They had, whole suitcases, right? In the airport, but I don't know if they even got
their suitcase. I saw it on a local news channel.
That's what many people
Same
would do.
suitcase.
You get out of a penitentiary,
okay.
You are making for the airport.
Making for the airport.
It is behind.
They barely made it out.
Their jail clothes and the jail slides getting on that jet. It's unbelievable. Next stop, Michigan. And since they just took off about an hour and a half ago, I'm doing.
I bought those pants before from Suburbia.
Around 11:30, maybe midnight Eastern time tonight. So we're going to watch for that as well.
And
I want to welcome back to this program.
She has left out so many things about this couple. And you go to the comments and you'll see. Let's do that. I think it's important to know the reason why they got arrested in Mexico. They paid their timeshare for over a year and they decided to file a fraud claim. Oh, look at this one. Can you please report their entire story? Do the right thing as journalists. Why are you refusing to report how and why they were actually jailed? They're not innocent little angels. Report the entire story, don't report at all. Wow, they're really hammering them here. They did this to a few timeshares, not only this one. Holy smokes. I hope that's not true. Boy, because some of them may not be as forgiving as Palace Resorts were. But didn't they defraud the company? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. You try to rip someone off, then claim insurance. You go to jail in any country for doing that. They knew they had defaulted on their timeshare payments in Mexico. They were foolish to return and risk being arrested. Wow, man. I wonder if Banfield reads these. I wouldn't go to Mexico. Whatever, man. Wow. Let's go back in here.
Mallory Wilson. She is a close friend.
And they just keep, anyhow, they just keep playing and playing that video of them coming out. So a couple items here I don't think anybody thought of was when they arrived in Cancun, where were they going to go stay? 2, who paid for the private jet? I'm pretty sure we did. If it's got Barrett and the top negotiator on it, I'm more than likely it's, we taxpayers pay for that jet. Let's just face it. I'm going to find out, but I'm more than positive. And the prison uniform. Now, Banfield said uniform, prison uniform, fatigues, whatever. They didn't say it. None of the camp said it, but optics, they made it look like prison uniform. There ain't no prison uniform in Cancun, folks. All right? Okay? About 99.9% sure on that one. All right? And God, I hope they didn't burn another place down there. They can't go back if that's the case. They just can't go back. Tell me what you think. Put it in the comments. Thank you very much.